In the last video, I talked about the living costs when we live off the grid. This, of course, is as rare here in Greece as it is anywhere else in the world. I don't know anybody else who lives off the grid. In this video, I wanted to talk about how much does it cost when people do live on the grid, and in generally the cost of living and prices of food, electricity, water, gas, and more. My name is Leena. Welcome to my channel. All prices have gone up. Food, electricity, gas, materials, everything except wages. The same situation applies the entire Europe, as well as United States, Canada, New Zealand and Australia, the so-called Western world. Let's talk first about the cost of electricity. I checked my father-in-law's electricity bill, and the cost of electricity is 15.5 cents per kilowatt hour. But after you add the taxes, it almost doubles the price of electricity. So it rises to approximately up to 30 cents per kilowatt hour. This bill is from 2-month period, and he spent in that household, my father-in-law, they spent 660 kilowatt hours, and the bill was 190 euros. So this means that they spent on electricity average 100 euros per month. They have 3 people living in the apartments in Rhodes center, and they do not use any heating system or cooling system in their home because they are trying to save on the electricity bill. This is very common in Greece. Sometimes people, they might put a little heater into a small bedroom area temporarily, for example, when they have a shower. But people here in general, they do not heat their houses. Here in Greece, the people, they have to heat their own hot water, which happens either through the solar panel or through the electricity grid. My father-in-law, he does not have solar panel, so he has to heat his water through electricity. So that is added to the electricity bill, the cost of the hot water. Here, usually the water containers are not very big, they are quite small. So when you want to have a hot shower, you have to do it quite fast because the hot water runs out really quickly. So you don't usually waste too much hot water. Next, I'm going to take a look at my father-in-law's water bill. For the first 10 cubic meters, you pay 32 cents per cubic, and for the next 20 you pay 40 cents per cubic, and the next 10 you pay 56, and after 76 cents, euro 5 cents, and so on. So the more you spend water, the more it rises the price of the water per cubic. The water bill comes after every 3 months, and in my father-in-law's house they spent 40 cubics in that 3 months of water, and the bill amount to 17 euros. These prices are when the population of the area is more than 10,000 people, and if it's less than 10,000, like here in the villages, the price of water is exactly half. So the price of water here is actually really cheap, and this of course is the cold water, since people have to heat their hot water themselves. So anyway, the water bill is 17 euros for 3 months. But then we are going to add some taxes. First, you have to add from the bill, you have to add another 80% of the amount of the water bill for plumbing services and another 50% for sewage services. And then you have an extra, a fixed fee of 11 euros. And then to these three payments, we add another additional 24% of taxes. And then to the water itself, to the 17 euro, we add another 13% of taxes. And after this, the 17 euro water bill amounts to 60 euros. So after the taxes, you pay 250% more for your water. I also asked my brother-in-law about his housing expenses, and they said they pay 100 euros per month for electricity, just like my father-in-law. They have 4 people living in that house, parents and 2 kids. They pay for water only 5 to 10 euros per month. Their rent is 400 euros per month. The house is old apartment, 85 squares. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. So let's take a look at the house pricing and the rents here. I did a little comparison between the house pricing and rents in Finland, because I am from Finland, and Germany and Central Europe. And the prices here in Greece is about half the price on square meter and the rents. It doesn't really cost that much money to build a house here because of the foundation and the walls and the roof and the house techniques and the laws and everything around it. Obviously, it's a different climate. We do not have minus really here, especially in Rhodes. Like in Finland, you have to build the houses according to the weather with a lot of snow and cold weather. Also, usually Greeks here, they usually save a lot of money for some reason on windows and doors, and it's really drafty. And you can have rainwater coming under your door or through your windows. And also you can have mildew all over your walls because of the high humidity that comes through the wind and the rain. You can find an apartment here in Rhodos, let's say starting from 200 euros, you can get a pretty crappy condo in a village, and the rent goes up from there. In our house, we have access to unlimited internet, and we pay 20 euros per month for that. I pay for my phone, I pay, before it was 10 euros, now I pay 11.5 euros for my phone calls, data, and messages, which is more than enough for my needs. Many people, like my father-in-law, they have so-called Nova package, which includes unlimited internet, unlimited landline phone, and different TV channels, and they pay 48 euros per month for the Nova package. The prices of materials, it's a little bit difficult to compare. Of course, it depends what quality and where you buy them from. In general, prices are a little bit higher here in Rhodos because this is an island where I have to import the goods. I have noticed that a lot of people, they like to go and buy from a big department store called Jumbo. It's in the center of Rhodos, a little bit outside of the center. And of course, this is a mass production from China. And from there you can buy cheap crap. And the Jumbo store has all kinds of things, has toys for children, things for babies, clothes. There's a section for gardening, for pets, all kinds of kitchen gadgets and anything to do with decoration, all kinds of things, and seasonal products like Halloween costumes or Easter, Christmas. And you can find a lot of things under the same roof with very cheap prices. You have to go through the entire store so that you will buy more cheap crap. I usually try to avoid to buying from things from China, I try to choose, if I possibly can. I just found this great label in one big store, Sklavenidis. It's on the main Rotolindu road, and I found this Greek label called Minerva. It's underwear label from Greece. It's 100% cotton, and the prices were also low. For two undershirts, 100% cotton undershirts, I paid about 11 euros. So I thought that was a great. So every time I find something that I can buy locally, domestically, and good quality, this is what I want to support with my money. But I do have to admit, just recently I actually went to Jumbo and I bought few tuppers for food storaging, because I tried to order them from online, but the price ended up 5 times higher because of the size. So the delivery price was too high. So I went to Jumbo, and at the same time I did buy a couple of pillows and a small carpet in front of the fireplace. And let's take a look at the food prices. Domestic full-fat milk, 1 liter, €1.80. Before, I remember it was, before, when I say before, I mean 2 years ago, before the war, it was 136. So it's gone from 136 up to 180. Bread is 180. Rice, 180 per kilo. Eggs, 360. Domestic cheese is 13.5 euros, but you can buy German cheese with 8 euros per kilo. Chicken fillet, 8.25 per kilo, and beef, 10.5 euro per kilo. Banana, 2 euros 12 cents. Apple, 165. Oranges, 165. I have to say that I haven't had the need to buy any oranges or lemons at all this winter, because I just picked them up from the trees on the street. And they are really awesome. The fruits here, the vegetables here are usually cheaper because they are domestic, and they are really tasty. Really good quality fruits and vegetables. Tomato, 2.75. Potato, I found with 90 cents. Also onions, 90 cents. Salad, 1 head of lettuce, 95 cents. And then bottle of wine, medium quality, 7 euros. But you can also find really cheap wine here. Not good quality, but you can find really cheap alcohol here. And also tobacco products, like 1 pack of tobacco is 4.60. To go out to eat is relatively cheap here. To go out in tavernas or out for coffee or beer, it's not that expensive. The price of gas is a bit less than 2 euros. I think last time I checked was about 1.93, and the diesel is almost as high. I think it's around 15 cents less, but it's really high, almost as high as gas. The bus fee, for example, if you take from here, from Soroni to Rhodes Center, which is 25 kilometers, it costs 3 euros. Yes, 3 euros. And from Rhodes Center to Lindos, it's 5.5 euros, and the distance is 50 kilometers about. So the bus fee is according to the distance. The salaries here, what people are left in the hand after taxes, is about 800 to 900 euros a month. And then when you take out the rent and the electricity, the water and the gas that you have to get to the work, you don't really have that much in your hand at the end of the day. Also, property taxes are rising and the rent prices are rising. The Greeks, they do have difficulties. They do struggle. But luckily there are some things that are still really cheap here, relatively cheap here. For example, my son, he's doing sports at the stadium here, and he pays 25 euros per month, and he goes there 3 times a week, so 3 hours a week. And in the summer he has a swimming school, and it's 20 euros per month, and he has to school twice a week, 2 hours a week. I also like to use the services of the private doctors. They are also relatively really cheap here and really good service, excellent facilities. For the dentist, I think I had my wisdom tooth removed. I think I paid 50 euros for that. For the gynecologist, I paid 60 euros, 3D Ultra. For the pediatrician, I paid 30 euros. For also vet is cheaper, depending, of course, what your animal's needs are. My ear doctor, I pay 30 euros. Usually the doctors are closer, so I don't have to go all the way to Rhodes Center to the hospital and wait there all day. When you go to the hospital, obviously the environment is not nice, but you usually have to spend hours there. And I'm not sure about the service, what kind of medical care you really get. The private doctors is something great also because you always have the doctor at the end of the phone. You can call them, they know who you are, and you have your papers in your hand. They are not in a general register. You have your own medical papers that you can show to any doctor that you choose to show them to. I like to be on top of my own medical care and the care of my child. And also you can time it. So you make the appointment in the morning, and then you can still schedule to come back and pick up your son from school. So because in the hospital you might spend the whole day there, you don't know how long you have to stay there. This is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, bye bye.